We have the fist bump. We are on our way to our round 9 here in day 1 of the Knoxville Regional Championship. And Alec Geissler is going to start us off with that capturing aroma, hitting a tails?
I don't know where the die is.
It's underneath these cards.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a 5.
All right, so then the basic Pokemon, which you don't mind, right? Finding that Luminion to be able to get the Professor Burnett, to get your Archeops in the discard pile. Could be a backup Lugia as well, in case Alec doesn't know what version of Lost Box he's up against and he wants to play it like super safe, in case there's a Raikou or a Iron Hands. And yeah, it is a 5 indeed, Boo. Now, Lugia, sort of known for the randomness, right? The capturing aroma, and we see Alec is also playing those really old Great Balls as well.
Oh, another one. This one's going to be a heads, though, a 6. Of course, heads will get you an evolution Pokemon. Tails going to give you a basic Pokemon. First turn, having both, not too bad here. That Archeops going to be sought out immediately here by Alec Geissler. Now we just got to find a way to discard 2 of them, Pablo.
Yep, which is always the challenge with Lugia, right? If you get to play with only 1 Archeops, that can sometimes be okay, but it's definitely not your preferred way of playing that limits your energy acceleration so much. And I think Alec's plan, he doesn't have a really great way to one-shot Giratina V-Star, so he'll probably want to start getting ahead with the Iron Hands, which he does play 2 copies of.
Yep, 2 Iron Hands. I was actually just about to ask you, Pablo, because this is a very different version of Lugia V-Star than I believe the last time we saw Lugia V-Star. What is the most major thing about the differences in this deck? Because I see a lot of Pokemon happening here on Alec's side of the deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's Iron Hands to be able to take advantage of the price card advantage with Ampy very much. There's Cobalion to add damage, to be able to deal extra damage towards Charizard EX, I believe, with its ability. There's a Cyclizar in there as well. There's a Radiant Charizard, so there's a lot going on in this list.
Yeah, it's almost like a counter deck in a way. Like it plays something here and there to be able to counter whatever matchups it runs into. And we were speaking about that Iron Hands, and now it is out here on the field as well. Such a cute artwork of it with that energy attached to. We're over on Shawn's side. So working with some Lost Zone action already. 1 Giratina V-Star going into the Lost Zone here off that flower selecting. Giratina V coming out. The aggression, the pace here. Pat to the peak, flying into play. And we're back over already onto Alec's side. More capturing aromas. That's the only thing in the discard at the moment.
Yeah, very unfortunate start for Shawn. And that Giratina V-Star in the Lost Zone, he hasn't had an opportunity to check his deck, so he doesn't know another copies in the prize card, so that just leaves 1 copy available until Shawn is able to take prize cards. And Alec immediately going for the path counter, flips tails, I believe, on that Mesagoza, and will be able to Ultra Ball away the Archeops to find another Archeops, or find the Lugia V-Star, never mind. And does he have a Research and Archeops fully set up in his hand already? Yeah, I know he has the Research. He searched for it with the Luminion, but what's the other card? If it's an Archeops, then Alec has the dream
We're
start.
cruising. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what Alec wants to see here. We'll have to take a look at the hands, but cards are flying for both of these players here. That Ultra Ball being utilized there for the first Archeops down, and now we have the double Turbo Energy. Ooh, it's just going to be a Research for a fresh 7 cards here for Alec, but still only 1 Archeops in the discard pile as of now.
Now, that Great Ball is so old, Pooh, that it actually has different text, but Alec does find Archeops and has an Ultra Ball in hand, so pretty decent draw. I feel like I would have fancied my chances with the Archeops and just hope to find the Lugia V-Star. However, when you see Shawn's very slow start, maybe this is an okay risk, right? This is a calculated risk you take. You're like, okay, I'd rather guarantee 1 Archeops and guarantee the Iron Hands using Ampio very much on my opponent's single Comfey, then risk not getting Lugia V-Star and not building this advantage. So perhaps that's the way Alec calculated turn, and it definitely has a lot of merit to do it that way.
I gotta say though, Pablo, I am sick and tired of these Giratina players not drawing well.
I know.
Please, I need something to happen for our Giratina players out here on the stream. It has just been brutal today here in Knoxville for Giratina. And Alec just flying through here. We see both of those Archeops now out on the bench here thanks to that V-Star power. Summoning Star off the Lugia V-Star. Getting him out there, allowing Alec to accelerate these energy onto this Lugia V-Star. Now, 1 V-Star move per game that she gets. And I got to say, that's a pretty solid one on that Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, definitely a dream start for Alec with the double Archeop Summoning Star. Retreat into the Amp you very much for 2 prizes. Could literally not ask for a better setup here. And against Shawn that does not look very happy.
Yep, that is unfortunate to see if you're on Shawn's side of things, but Amp you very much. Going to get the knockout there, take the first prize card off of that Comfey, leaving Shawn with just a Giratina V, and that's going to be it. There's nothing else you could do there, Pablo, in that situation. The V-Stars in the Lost Zone, you just have a V and nothing in your hands that you can work with. Alec taking the first game in this round 9 here in Knoxville. Very promising start there. That was just dominance from our Lugia V-Star player.
Dominant indeed, and we were talking about this earlier in our matches, right? So much for BDIF. This definitely isn't a great showing so far for Giratina overall in the stream matches that we have had. But, I mean, that's no fault of Shawn. Yeah, it's just the combination of cards he drew in the beginning were just not great. And didn't even attempt to get them as a Gosa flip, because, like, realistically, you get heads, you get a Comfey, you're looking at 2 extra cards, your chances of finding a Colress there are so low. And even if you do, like, at that point, your opponent's just going to take another 2 prizes, either on the Comfey with the Ampere very much, or with a Lugia V, you leave a Giratina V-Star in the Giratina V, sorry, in the active. So just not looking great. Yeah, you get 3 cards in the Lost Zone, your opponent's already down to 2 prizes. Might as well shake it off, pick up your cards, and move on to the next game, where hopefully you can use Path to delay your opponent and just get a better combination to start off with.
Yeah, you just hope for something better, you know, going into the second round. I think
literally
you can see it on Shawn's face right now. Just please give me something better here for this next round. I know, Pablo, I even said 1 prize card. I should have said 2 prize cards, because that was the Amp you very much taking it. And yeah, I mean, just the strength of that move. There was just nothing Shawn could do, unfortunately, in that circumstance. We're going to have to start saying BDIF, best second format, in quotations now, Pablo, just to protect ourselves for the future.
I know. Now, it's so ironic that Lugia is using Iron Hands to be able to perhaps be competitive again, when the release of Iron Hands is exactly what made Miraidon so much more powerful and probably pushed Miraidon away from, pushed Lugia away from that top spot that it used to have. Because before Paradox Rift, we were seeing colorless Lugia dominate tournaments.
Yep, and then things changed, but Alec is like, nah, I'm still playing this. Played it in San Antonio, did pretty darn well with it, bringing it here now to Knoxville, and hopefully trying to get into day 2 here. So it is a 1-0 start here so far for Alec. Geissler, we're going to have to see if it can be a strong 2-0. Please, Giratina V-Star, speak to me. Get some good pulls for once here on the stream. Let's check out these prize cards. Hopefully nothing too detrimental for either of these players sitting in the prize cards.
I really want to point out once again that Great Ball. Yeah, the text says search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench. That is different from the more newer Great Ball. Yeah, but that Great Ball, I think it's like 20 years old or something.
So does it not have to have the same wording? I thought it did for some reason.
No, that
it just has. I think it has to have the same.
As long as it has the same name. Yeah, same thing happened with Quick Ball.
Gotcha. Well, we're kicking off. This is our second game between both of our players here. Now we're starting on Shawn's side of things. It's going to be concealed cards. Okay, there we go.
I could not see that early because I was like, oh no, is it going to be a Path of Beacon pass? Please no.
Not again.
We're off to a decent start. Probably double Comfey here, or 1 Comfey, 1 Giratina. Not the best start, but definitely we're like doing better than last game.
Yeah. Let's go, Shawn. Let's get some cards popping in that Lost Zone. Get some flower selectings going on here. Let's see a stronger start and a stronger showing here for Giratina. see what can happen. Of course, looking through the deck as well, trying to make sure he knows everything that's going on in the prize cards, too.
Yeah, with these Lost Zone decks, you always want to be very aware of your prize cards because you have so many decisions to make on which cards you want to keep permanently and which cards you get rid of permanently.
Yeah.
So any sort of mistake there can be very costly. And I think the most crucial thing to know is the energies. That way, you're not making mistakes with Mirage Gate. You're also making sure that you save the right amount of energies for your attackers. So playing these Lost Box decks definitely requires like an extra level of planning and future vision in a way.
Yeah, I think Lost Box decks are, and really Gardevoir as well. It's like you make a decision early game that affects you heavily in the late game. And that's just kind of what happens, but especially for the Lost Box decks because you're getting rid of so many of your cards forever. The Lost Zone, it's lost forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess until your next round or your next match. But yeah, that game, it is gone. And we're going to have our first card here hit the Lost Zone in that Giratina V off that flower selecting. But another Battle VIP pass here for Shawn, which is great to see. We want to see as much of an established board as possible here for Shawn. So what do you think is the strategy we're going to be seeing over from Alec's side of the field? Is it going to be kind of the same thing that we saw in the last game from Alec? Like everything kind of went swimmingly there, huh?
Yeah. I feel like Alec's just going to try and lead with Iron Hand CX once again. If there's a Comfey in the active spot, if there's a Giratina using a Beast Seeking for some reason, then we'll probably lead with a Lugia V-Star attack to knock it out. But I think the biggest hurdle for Alex will be getting through Path to a Peak, which will now be down on turn 1 and will probably also be down on turn 2 in case he needs to use an ability such as Luminion to get the Professor Burnett. And another issue is Alec doesn't have a great way to deal with a Giratina V-Star. He has no way to one-shot it. He does play the Radiant Charizard, but no choice build, so that could be problematic.
Yeah, and we see 2 Giratina V down right now on Shawn's side of the field. We saw another flower selecting as well, adding another card into the Lost Zone there for Shawn after the hard retreat off that first Comfey. Getting rid of that Jet Energy into the discard pile. Pretty solid start here for Shawn, especially compared to last game. We're back over to Alec now playing the old great ball here.
Yeah, does find the Luminion V, but with that Path to the Peak in play could be not very useful, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 cards in the Lost Zone for Shawn, so there is a universe where he could potentially get up to 7 if he finds a 3rd Comfey and then gets Colress plus triple Comfey. And so Alec needs to know that he's at risk of that and would ideally like to bench another Lugia V just in case.
Well, the new Great Ball, not going to be seen there, but you see it over on the screen. You look at the top 7 cards and you just choose a Pokemon from there and reveal it. It was that Drapion V here for Alec coming out off that. Mesagoza is going to hit here with a Heads, bringing out an Archeops for Alec.
Yeah, very nice flip there. Now, Shawn doesn't really mind that Mesagoza because he is holding another Path to a Peak, so that's one less stadium Alec will have to counter that second one. So even though it was Heads, and Shawn doesn't like to see that, he doesn't mind that stadium counter being utilized preemptively in this first turn.
That completely makes sense here. Alec is going to have to bump that stadium to get things rolling here, unlock those abilities once again that were being shut down. We're going to see another Archeops come out off of that Ultra Ball straight into an Earthen Vessel as well. Wait, the Earthen Vessel is discarding the Archeops?
Yep, the Earthen Vessel will discard the Archeops, allow Alec to find that Fire Energy to be able to utilize Read the Wind, which gives him extra draw power this turn to help set up. And usually as Lugia, you don't expect, or as any deck, you don't expect your Giratina V-Star to have like a super explosive start into the 7 cards in a Lost Zone, but it is a possibility that Alec needs to consider. I mean, if he doesn't have another Lugia V, there's nothing he can do about it, but it's important to be aware of that. Yeah. And he does have the Lugia V,
I was going to say, there's Lugia V in hand right now for Alec, and Looks like it's about to join the field. Looks like there's some contemplation there, but
Yep.
gonna bench the Lugia V straight into an Iono. Now both players' hands gonna go to the bottom of their deck after being shuffled up here. Drawing into as many prize cards as you have. Just offering the cut, of course, first. We're gonna see some more cards. Shaking things up here, Pablo, in our round 9 for both our players.
Yeah, now another Great Ball being played, Pumpkaboo found, so does have the path counter, which is fantastic for next turn. And that Iono took away the path to a peak from Shawn, but did grant him a call risk, so decent exchange.
Give and take,
Give and take,
yeah.
exactly. I think Shawn, seeing these setups, seeing how Alec already has the path counter and the fact that he cannot attack Alec's hand, he does not play any form of Iono or Judge or anything like that. It's going to be all about Shawn trying to initiate that price trade before Alec does with their iron hands.
Yeah, you got to get ahead of the game here for Shawn, especially being down a game as well. It's 0-1 right now. And if Alec wins another one, going to be taking that 2-0 and a 6-2-1 record into day 2. Double turbo energies hitting the discard pile here.
Yep, read the wind for a few extra cards, and now it's on Shawn to make something happen. Does have the third Comfey to bench there, does have the call risk, so can Shawn start taking prizes here? That is the big question.
We're going to see if we can get there, Pablo. We're starting off with that Colress's experiment here. 5 cards, 2 to the lost zone,
Yep.
3 to the hands.
Battle VIP Pass and Nespel hitting the lost zone, now up to 4. I think the big card missing right now is Giratina V-Star.
Why is
for
that
Shawn.
always eluding
It's
us,
always, yeah.
Pablo?
I mean, these decks don't play any sort of Ultra Ball or anything like that.
Yeah.
They do leave it up to the fact that they see so many cards, you'll eventually find it, right? But
One
it's
day.
never guaranteed, right?
Yes.
And whiffing it at the wrong time could also be problematic.
Absolutely. We've seen that already today in
Yep.
our Giratina V decks. And honestly, we could have seen it. We probably would have seen it last game as well because one went to the lost zone. And yeah, it was looking sticky there too. One was in the prize cards, but 5 cards now in the lost zone here.
That's one way to find Giratina V-Star. Use Mesa
Mesa
Goza.
Goza.
Yeah, there it is. So I think now Shawn has maybe missing a few switching cards to be able to do this. Does have a Jet Energy, so I actually one switch card. No, I think needs 2 ways to switch, right? They're at 5. They need to get 2 more cards in the lost zone with the 2 other Comfies. They do have a switch in hand, so maybe they can do it and get this first KO. That would be really good to see for Shawn here.
Yeah, that would be very dominant compared to...
Yeah, this would be like BDIF sort of
Yes,
plays,
this
right?
would be, Pablo. That's true. This would be indeed. We'll have to see what Shawn is able to do here. We're going to see a concealed cards, discarding that energy, drawing into 2 cards. Oh, did see Mirage Gate and a Grass Energy, I believe.
Yeah.
For the draws off that concealed cards. There we go. Jet Energy going to bring this Comfey up into the active position for another flower selecting. We're going to see that 6th card going into the lost zone in just a minute here for Shawn.
Yeah, I think that attachment of the Jet Energy takes away the option unless Shawn finds another switching card, because he did find 2 Mirage Gates, but yeah, oh no, he has the switch in hand, so he can pull this off. This gets him to 7 in the lost zone, and then with the double Mirage Gate, you can power up a Giratina V after you switch. Yeah, that does it.
Hard retreat, easy peasy. Comfey jumping out, Comfey jumping in. That's going to get us our 7th card here into the lost zone. It's going to be an escape rope on the top there for Shawn.
Yeah.
And then now, yeah, Mesa Goza, huge help this turn. I'm sure Alec not super happy about that, but hey, you play it and it's a stadium. That's between both players.
Yep.
Fair game here.
Yeah,
Mirage
exactly.
Gate, exactly. Mirage Gate is going to be played here to bring out these energy for Shawn as well. And everything is looking up here.
Ooh.
This is a very dominant turn here for Shawn. I'm sure so happy to see it. Feeling good going into this game 2. Still 30 minutes left on the clock too, so plenty of time here between both of these players.
Oh, but I think Shawn might not have any grass energy left in his
What?
deck, and he already attached that jet energy for turn, so
Pablo, no.
that attack will not be possible. He has 1 grass energy in his hand currently. 1 might have hit the lost zone, or 1 might have been discarded, 1 might have been prized. So
you're right. Wait, are we still
unfortunate
doing the
for
Mirage Gate
Shawn.
right now?
Yeah, we're still doing the Mirage Gate.
That's what's happening.
Maybe that card. I'm not sure.
That is a bummer. Do you think it was played not knowing that the grass was in hand? Oh no, was the wrong pile picked up? What happened?
I don't know what is happening. Like, I know Shawn put the grass energy that he had in his hand, put it like separated. Like, oh dang, it's not in the deck.
Yes.
I don't know what this card is right now, which is probably the debate they are having. If it's a grass, that was just part of Shawn's hand, and it's no big
maybe
deal.
We'll need to verify that, or quick check here between our players.
Yep. And then once we have the information for you, we'll be able to tell you exactly what is going on here. But
yeah, it looks like they're probably going to rewind just to double check, as there's a bunch of piles of cards.
Yep.
At the moment.
I believe. Yeah. I mean, I'm fairly sure, but of course the judges will determine this. That card is a grass energy that Shawn was just very sad that was in his hand instead of in the deck, because then that took away the option for him to be able to.
We were sad too.
Take this KO.
We were sad too, Pablo, seeing that. Like, no, that's not what you want to see there.
Yeah.
It was all looking up for a little bit
yeah,
there,
it was
Pablo.
looking like the dream turn.
Yeah,
right?
we hit a couple bumps in the road there.
Yeah. Now I did miss. There must have been at least 1 grass in the prize cards, and then probably another one that got lost on, because the deck usually plays at minimum 3, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about in the beginning, about the importance of price checking, knowing where exactly your energies are, so that these mistakes are avoided, so that you don't go, oh, yeah, those moments that I'm sure
those are the worst.
every player can identify themselves with. You go, oh, well. Yep.
And you were just talking about this too, Pablo, because you're saying it's so important to keep track of your energy. It's very pivotal in every matchup, but especially when you're playing a Lost Box deck. But it looks like these players are back in action here. We're completing this Mirage Gate, but not going to have a grass energy, which is going to be required here for Shawn. Just going to be a water and a psychic being placed out onto the field.
Yeah, so I'm fairly certain there is a grass in the lost zone. I don't know if the third one is in the discard pile or in the prize cards, but yeah, that card to the side was just the grass that Shawn was holding that unfortunately he's not able to attach at all, as we see it right in the back of their hand. So
yeah, Jet Energy was already attached, and it looks like we're going to have a 2-minute time extension between these players as well. So a little bit of a hiccup there, but still, Shawn is pretty established here. But I guess if you're sitting on Alec's side of the field now, Pablo, is there a better opening now that there was a little bit of a lackluster ending to that turn on Shawn's side?
Certainly. I mean, we've talked about the price map, right, so much, and about this like 2-2-2 3-turn clock that you want to put your opponent in, and now Alec gets to do that. Yeah, as long as he has access to the Iron Hands and the Lightning Energy, he's able to take 2 prizes on this Comfey, potentially get 2 more eventually on the other Comfey with the other Iron Hands, and then find a way to knock out a Giratina V-Star for their 6 prizes. Now, that's easier said than done, of course. Based on Alec powering up the Lugia V-Star, we could also just see a simple boss KO, a Giratina V, probably the one with Psychic Energy, not the one with Water, as it's more crucial. And then you're the one that has the initiative, right? Your opponent can return KO, but as long as Alec keeps getting 2 prizes each turn, they will win the game. Yeah, so now Shawn could have been in that situation had a grass energy been in his deck.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity now for Alec to slow the momentum down from Shawn's side of the field. And that could be the edge that you need to take the rest of this game home. So we'll see if Alec is able to do that this turn. But Thank you very much. That Iron Hand's coming down here as well, getting those energies accelerated to it. This is the same turn we saw that Summoning Star to get those Archeops that are accelerating the energies now with that Primal Turbo ability. So things are lining up here for Alec.
Yeah, now we are missing that Lightning Energy, which cannot be fetched by Archeops, right? So we are going to see the boss KO on the Giratina as we just saw. And that will definitely be Alec getting that 2-prize initiative. Yeah, that 2-2-2 prize map. Now it's on Shawn to be able to respond. And this V-Guard energy is going to be very difficult for Shawn to get through, or will require the V-Star, which ideally you want to save for a future situation.
Yeah, you're talking about the protection of that V-Guard energy being so pivotal here for Alec. We're going to see that very soon here. So the prize map has started on Alec's side of the field. 2 prize cards down. Tasting a 2-0 victory already. Going to Shawn's side now, just 1 Giratina V, and Alec did take out the Giratina V that had the Psychic attached to, so the one with water is currently in play now. Looks like we had the concealed cards already drawn for this turn. 2 extra cards from the deck here for Shawn. And what is the hand looking like for Shawn? I saw that Colress's experiment, but we're going to start off with the flower selecting.
Yeah, I mean, Shawn pretty much has everything he could possibly want. He has a huge hand. Now, he is using cards and is risking drawing energy, which will then make the Mirage Gate
even harder,
potentially less good if he draws a lot of them. I don't think he has a lot of energy left in the deck anyways. But you definitely don't want to see those energies. I think he might be digging for a Super Rod here to be able to replenish his deck with energies, make that Mirage Gate more effective, perhaps put the Giratina V back so that he can use it later down the line.
Yeah.
And he can get to 10 cards in Lost Zone to use the V-Star on the Lugia, but that Iron Hand's looking very threatening right now.
Yeah, that is scary to be eyeing down here for Shawn. We're going to see 8 cards now in the Lost Zone for Shawn after that flower selecting there. And now we're seeing the brain power really start to kick in here. You have an entire hand of cards that you have to figure out. How do I sequence things? What am I doing this turn? Identify everything that's is in your deck, is in your Lost Zone. It's a lot to think about. But Pokegear 3.0 is going to start us off here. Going to find a supporter here for Shawn.
Yep, now Shawn being really, really careful. And I like this potential boss play. Go after the Iron Hands before the Iron Hands takes down any of your Comphase or your Greninja, because the Lugia, as long as there isn't a Giratina V in play, there's only the V-Star, can't get a 2-prize KO, whereas Giratina V-Star will be able to. So this is how Shawn can potentially revert this less than ideal situation he's in. So it makes sense that he didn't go for the colorless play. He was holding the counter catcher. And we are going to see the switch into another flower select to keep building that Lost Zone, probably looking for that Super Rod.
Yeah, we're going to see 2 cards here now for Shawn. Have to make another, looks like, difficult decision, seeing as though the card didn't just fly straight into the Lost Zone here.
Now, this is something I run into with a lot of players that I talk to or that I coach. It's they're always like, oh, the decisions are always so difficult with Giratina V-Star. I'm always lost zoning good cards. And it's like, well, you only play good cards in your deck. You're not going to play bad cards on purpose so that you have an easier time with the Lost Zone, right?
True. Oh, well, we do see the Super Rod here now for Shawn. Yeah, it was kind of difficult because it was off of the screen there, but Mirage Gate hitting that Lost Zone. Super Rod going to be able to recycle some stuff back into the deck here. We'll see what Shawn chooses. So far, the Giratina V and those 2 energy now going back into the deck.
Yeah, no grass from the discard pile, which does confirm that the grass was prized. The other grass is here, and the last grass is in the hand. So always super important. Shawn did have the information. As long as he had checked his prize cards correctly, he probably should have known that there was no grass available, as one was Lost Zone and one was in the hand. So we're going to see that second Giratina V get set up, which, I mean, now Shawn probably obligated to take down the Lugia V-Star to just force Alec to find Boss plus Lightning to take 2 prizes, rather than if Shawn had just not benched this Giratina V right now, Alec would have and gone after the Iron Hands, Alec would have no way to get 2 prize cards, and that's how you can potentially disrupt the prize trade.
Well, that Giratina V here on the bench now with those 2 energy already on it. The attachment of that grass that was in the hand.
Yep.
Gonna evolve into this Giratina V-Star for Shawn. Just 1 turn too late. We just were missing the grass last time, but now able to attack with this Giratina V-Star on this turn.
And looks like Shawn eyeing up the boss's orders, which I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I'm really not a fan because he benched this Giratina V. So now Alec only needs a boss to knock out that Giratina V, get another 2 prize cards. If you don't bench that, just hold off on it 1 turn, Alec cannot get to prize cards. So a little bit preemptive, but we'll have to see. I mean, having just a raw boss's orders is not necessarily easy. However, Alec does play 4 copies of boss's orders, I just noticed.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Luminion as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, true. We did see the Luminion in the last game as well. But oh my goodness. So Shawn is going to use that Lost Impact there. Those 2 energy going into the Lost Zone, stacking that up as well. And we're now over on to Alec's side after that Iron Hands goes down, capturing Aroma, hitting a Tails. That means we're going to see a basic Pokemon here for Alec.
Yeah, now eyeing up the Mew, which Mew can also be used to take down Giratina V-Star. So never mind, Alec always had the opportunity to take 2 prizes without needing boss's orders.
Oh, it's so brutal just to watch. Oh, not only is this Pokemon coming down, but the energy is coming out with it because my Archeops. I just forgot how cool it is to watch Lugia V-Star in action, you know? You could see why it was such a dominant deck because the attributes of this deck, when they all come together, leads to so much power and so much force. And now we're seeing that over here on Alec's side, but with some new inclusions of Pokemon. That Mew EX coming down straight away with some energy attached. Both those Archeops now being used, the attachment for turn, or actually that may have just been a double turbo from that too.
No, the double turbo was from Primal Turbo. That lightning energy is the attachment for turn, along with an Iono, which will take away Shawn's humongous hand.
Yeah, so you got everything you need and disruption for your opponent as well. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Iono here for both of our players. They're shuffling up their current hands. As you can see, Shawn's was huge, so Alec going to take a second to cut that, and both our players are going to draw into 4 cards here for each of their prize cards.
Yeah, now Alec pretty content with that because he does have that gift energy to protect him from low card hands, and chooses to Lost Zone this double turbo by copying Lost Impact, which doesn't have to Lost Zone energies attached to any, your active Pokemon. So Alec in commanding position right now. Shawn sitting back onto his chair, and we'll see what happens here.
Yeah. If you copy the attack, you still have to copy the effect too. But it's just funny that the double turbo counts for 2.
That covers it perfectly well,
That is awesome here. Alec swimming right now. Or I guess flying, huh? Flying away with this match currently. Shawn put on the back foot here now. Going to start off this turn with a Super Rod. Getting that Giratina V-Star, the grass energy that is so important at the moment, and of course the psychic energy back shuffled into the deck. That's going to start things off. Did you take a look at the hand here? All of those Iono cards are now getting shuffled around as well for Shawn.
Yeah, I think Shawn was definitely holding on to a lot of really good cards in that previous hand, and this one's not anything special. So this shuffle, very important, along with the crucial grass energy that you mentioned just now, as I don't think Shawn was able to grab the grass energy of the prize cards. It was Cramorant and Giratina V-Star. Wow. So only access to 1. Getting that second Super Rod, definitely very lucky break for Shawn, but now needs a really good flower select here. Ooh, and that's it.
Oh, what is it, Pablo?
I believe there's at least a Colress. I don't know what the other card is. It might be a Roxanne, and that's why we're hesitating.
Yeah, hesitating maybe.
No, it's just a Path to the Peak. All right.
Path to the Peak.
That was definitely an easy choice. Path to the Peak, its usefulness is long gone at this point.
Yep, hitting the Lost Zone there. Shawn gonna opt for that Colress's Experiment that has so much more utility here, and gonna jump straight into it as well. We're experimenting in the lab now here for Shawn. 5 cards, 3 to the hands, Anything of major value here, Pablo, you're seeing?
I mean, found the Giratina V-Star that he needs. I think he found a switch card as well to continue digging. Cramorant and Nespel going to hit the Lost Zone, but Shawn really needs to find a Mirage Gate to go along with what he has right now. If he's able to respond to this Mew EX, he'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, we need to see some energy.
Yep.
Switch cart's going to help with that. We're going to see another flower selecting. Let's see if Shawn can hit that Mirage Gate.
Yeah, the Mirage Gate is the key card to hit here. Can conceal cards as well, but he would need another switching card. Ooh, double Giratina V-Star choice, I believe, right there.
Oh my
not
gosh.
The cards
so not really much choice, huh?
Yep.
One of your Giratina V-Star. They always seem to end up somehow in the Lost Zone at some point in time. And concealed cards is going to be it here for Shawn. Was it able to be drawn into? I don't see it. The Mirage Gates eluding Shawn here in this turn. Just going to be a switch.
Yep, has
another
last
flower
chance
selecting.
with the flower selecting. Yep.
Let's see what we get. 2 cards here. One goes to the hands.
Nope.
Oh, it looks so
and
close.
Colriz, and even if he flower selects for a 4th time, it's just not gonna be good enough. So now Alec one boss away from closing this game. Yep, Shawn not in a great spot. No Mirage Gate available for him this turn.
Best second format quotations.
Yeah, best second format asterisk, right?
Yes. Exactly. Oh, I feel like this has been the story. I feel like I would have said I like casting Giratina V-Star, but we've had such a difficult time all day with it. Not only on stream, but I'm sure it's happening in the field as well for our players. Path to the Peak is going to come out, but as you said, Pablo,
not too late.
Yeah, a little too late indeed here, that Path to the Peak. Just going to be an energy attachment here now for Shawn onto that Giratina V-Star.
Yep, and not much else. Alec one boss away. The path does stop a potential minion. There's the boss. Immediately gets the knockout, and yep, not the best showing for Giratina V-Star. Alec, Geissler walking away into day 2 with Lugia V-Star.